If you've ever felt like you have to choose between eating healthy and convenience, then this episode is for you. Today's guest has been exactly where you are. We're talking about what actually makes things harder than they need to be when it comes to eating healthy as a busy mom, some things that she stopped doing, started doing, and the real stuff that is working for moms to get healthy meals on the table. So, no fluff. This is just going to be a very candid conversation between two mamas. So, let's dive in. And Carly, you are my special guest today. Carly is one of the mamas inside of Busy Mom Meals. And I asked her to come on because she actually shared on Instagram recently about how much Busy Mom Meals has been helping her. And so I thought this would be a great conversation to dive into some of the struggles that we faced as busy moms with getting healthy meals on the table and some of the strategies and tangible tips that have made her life easier in the process. So do you want to just introduce yourself, share maybe a little bit about where you are, your kids' ages, and kind of where you started in terms of some of the struggles and what kind of life has looked like in the past when trying to get healthy meals on the table, but feeling like it was a bit of a struggle.
Yeah. Okay, so my name's Carly. I am a stay-at-home mom, but I do have an online wellness business. So I do work from my phone. I'm partnered with a mental wellness company. I have two boys, one on the way, and we live on a beef farm. I actually, coming across your profile really spoke to me, saying that you're a dietitian who hates to cook, because I have always hated, like, dinner time is like the worst time every day. I
Yeah.
always struggled to find something that I wanted to cook or that I thought my family would even like or eat,
hmm
because it sucks when you hate cooking and then you cook it and nobody eats it.
Yes.
I'm definitely happy that I came across you, and it's definitely gotten easier at dinner times since
Yeah.
then. Even though I'm at home, it's like, and I don't have to do the after like work rush thing. It was still a struggle.
hmm
Um, but yeah, it's definitely gotten better now.
Yeah. And what did dinner time used to kind of look like in your household? I know for us, before I got a system in place, it was like kids screaming, them melting down, them being like, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. And then you're like, crap, what am I going to make? You're trying to figure out like what to make while they're melting down. And then you're like, I'm just going to grab anything that's out of the fridge to get you guys to stop screaming. Paint us a picture of what dinner time looked like in your house before you had a system and some maybe even some things that you tried that really didn't work for you long term that you're like this was not the solution for me.
Yeah, you just described it. The kids running to the pantry, like, I'm
Yes.
hungry, grab something. And it's like, no, it's dinner time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, when I think of dinner time, like I think of like sweat,
Yes.
stress, burning, steam. My son, he had like a fear of the fire alarm going off for a while because like it would get set off when I was cooking.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I used to do like try meal delivery or not, well, yeah, meal delivery services even, but like after
Mhm.
a while you would just figure out like they're not really that nutritious. Like you kind of
Yeah.
missed, like there's not a lot of vegetables or anything in them. So I mean that worked for a while, but then it would come back to like trying to search for recipes every day.
Yeah. Well, it's just a lot of time and energy, just being
Yeah.
spent like how dinner time was looking beforehand. It was like
Yeah.
kids melting
Yeah.
down, trying to
Yeah.
scroll. And I
Yeah.
think I think something else that a lot of us, especially those of us who hate cooking, is we feel like we have to kind of choose between convenience and health. Like I think a lot
Yes.
of moms out there, we want to eat healthy, we want our kids to eat vegetables, and we're not sure how to do it in a way that's like quick and easy and in a way that
Yeah.
our kids are going to eat it. And so I
Yeah.
think a lot of times we resort to whatever feels the most convenient at the time. And sometimes that's like mac and cheese again or chicken nuggets in the air fryer. And did you also feel like you had to kind of choose between that convenience factor and health? Like, I don't know how to have both. I don't know how to feed my kids something that's healthy that they'll actually eat and something that's quick and I can get on the table fast.
Choosing between convenience and health.
Yeah, just kind of your
Yeah.
beliefs beforehand. So, like, before, did you kind of believe like you had to choose between one or the other? Like, I either have to, to get healthy meals on the table, it has to require making things from scratch. A lot of time, a lot of
Yeah.
effort. I have to be a good cook. I have to enjoy cooking, or I can choose the convenience route, which means that, my kids and I are not going to eat healthy foods. I think that's a belief that a lot of moms kind of are stuck in is they don't think that they can have both when it comes to health and quick and easy and convenience.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. It is a lot easier to not eat healthy. And
Hmm.
it's cheaper, which is
Hmm.
like the worst thing. But in a way, I do feel like it's getting better. Like grocery stores are starting to notice like how busy people are. And so,
Hmm.
I mean, I feel like these days you can find like pre-cut up vegetables
Yeah.
and like stir fry mixes and stuff like that. Because yeah, that was like a big thing for me was I hate prepping food,
Hmm.
like especially vegetables. I'm
Yeah.
not a vegetable person. Like they just take so much time and effort.
Hmm.
So even now grabbing like the frozen like
Hmm.
mixes is so much easier. I know you
Yeah.
use that in your recipes, which I
Hmm.
love. I had a grocery delivery order this morning. I feel like it's getting better, but it is
Hmm.
definitely it costs more, which is like the worst thing is what gets me is the difference between convenience and health.
Yeah. And you have to, kind of compare because I think that's also a belief that in some ways it's true. And then in some ways we can look and dive deeper. And when we're comparing things, like if we compare a bag of frozen vegetables like peas or frozen broccoli or whatever, a bag of frozen vegetables would be cheaper than a bag of chips. So it's like,
Yeah.
but then there are some like healthier options that are definitely more expensive. Like if we look at the salad dressings, for instance, the
Yeah.
healthier salad dressings are more expensive than the
Yeah.
cheaper ones. And so it's like, it's
Yeah.
kind of comparing that and just like soda. Oh my gosh, I love Diet Coke, but the price of Diet Coke now, I'm like, is that a healthy option? No. Like it
Yeah.
would be better for me to just drink water, which is free,
I
but
know.
so it is really like looking at definitely there are some brands that are more expensive and then leaning into the frozen stuff is one of the best ways that we can save money as busy moms. Like
Yeah.
fresh berries are expensive, especially if you're doing organic. So if we
Hmm.
can get the frozen berries for smoothies, that's actually going to be cheaper and they're going to last longer. And then same thing
Yeah.
with the vegetables is, we buy almost all frozen, pre-chopped, pre-cubed vegetables to make because we don't want to, have food waste. That's a waste of money. And
Yeah.
exactly, we don't want to be in the kitchen chopping and spending more of our time when we don't have a lot of extra time as busy moms. So definitely the
Yeah.
frozen fruits and frozen vegetables that are pre-chopped, I think that's like one of the best ways that we can add convenience. And then
Yeah.
even the things like the microwavable quinoa and rice or
Oh yeah.
microwave, like those are such a game changer. And even the microwavable chicken sausage, those are things that you can just
Yeah.
toss in the microwave really quickly. And those are actually pretty affordable options compared to some of the other options. But for sure, I wish the healthier salad dressings and, healthier peanut butter, I wish that those
Yeah.
options would be cheaper because that is
Yeah.
super frustrating when you're comparing prices of
It is. Yeah.
of those and you're like, oh, I can see the ingredient list and I can see how different they are.
Yeah.
Um, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So what are some things that you've stopped doing? Maybe some things that were actually making dinner time and meals and eating healthy. It was actually making things harder for you. What were some things that you kind of stopped doing in this process that other moms can take and stop doing? Whether it's, I was going to the grocery store 5 times a week because I didn't have a plan and I was wasting time, or, scrolling on Pinterest for hours trying to find recipes. What were some things that you maybe stopped doing and have started doing instead that have saved you time and energy?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Is I always told myself like, oh, it's easy to find recipes because they're everywhere.
Yeah.
But then you just start going down a rabbit hole and it's like there's too many choices out there and I can't narrow it down.
Hmm.
I've stopped doing that now, thank goodness. But if I do ever come across like a good recipe, I have a um what's it called? Like a folder on my
Hmm.
Instagram where I can just
Yeah.
save recipes to.
Hmm.
So if I come across good ones. So another thing that helped is um doing like finding two or three recipes at a time.
Hmm.
and getting all of the ingredients at once
Yeah.
because going to the grocery store every single day is exhausting.
Yeah, for sure.
Or getting a grocery order every day is like it adds up. So
Hmm.
I really try to do like 2 to 3 recipes at a time so that I'm set up for a few days and like I just don't even have to think about it
Hmm.
because I would just stress about it all day trying to find a recipe of like what are we going to eat tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And you said you do the grocery delivery as well.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it's
I
the
just
best.
started doing it like a month ago
Hmm.
and it's amazing.
It is. It saves so much time and so much energy. I know, obviously, if you live really close to a grocery store for pickup, or for instance, I drop my kids off at preschool and there's two spots that I can do grocery pickup that are right there. So a lot of times
Yeah.
I'll schedule them like right, I'm already over there. But it saves so much time to not go in the store. And I don't know about
Yeah.
you, but when I bring my kids into the store, they're always like, I want that, I want that. And then you're trying to navigate that and stick to your budget, and then kids are kind of derailing it in the process.
Absolutely.
So I think grocery delivery and grocery pickup, it not only saves us time, but it does actually save us money because then we're not
Yeah.
just roaming through the aisles buying random things that are not
Yeah.
part of our plan. So
Yeah,
that is
totally.
definitely something that is a game changer.
Yeah.
Um,
I used to look at like all the because there's usually extra fees on grocery delivery orders
mhm,
and stuff and like I hated that because I'm a cheap person. I was like I hate all these extra fees on here, but then really when I thought about it, I was like I'm like we're actually saving money, not like browsing and yeah,
mhm,
just buying random stuff that the kids see or like snacks to keep them quiet while they're in the grocery cart. Like
mhm.
yeah, I really do believe it saves you money in the long run.
For sure.
Yeah.
And something else you had mentioned that I wanted to just talk a little bit about further, because I think it's a really good tip, is when you're making 2 or 3 meals at a time and like getting the grocery pickup or delivery for those things, if you are like us and you don't love to cook, we can always double or triple recipes, and that way we have more leftovers. If your family eats leftovers, no problem. It's better to just make 2 or 3 meals that week and make a ton of it and then just kind of
Yeah.
eat it all week long. And then you don't really have to think about what you're going to make, or you don't even have to cook for the next 2 days. You can just live off of the leftovers of those things. And so I
Yeah.
think that's another hack that a lot of moms think like, oh, it's dinner time. I have to make something every single night. And if you guys are cool with leftovers, which I know, some kids or some adults, especially like I hear from moms a lot, like, oh, my husband won't touch leftovers.
Yeah.
Um, that's kind of like, well, buddy, then you're on your own. But if if your family will eat leftovers, especially there's a lot of food that reheats well as
Yeah.
leftovers, then I think batching is like just one of the best things that you can do. Is if you're already going to be cooking on a Monday night in the kitchen, doubling the recipe is not going to actually take more time or effort.
Yeah.
And then, it's one less night that you have to cook, or one less lunch that you have to cook for. So,
Yeah.
um,
A good
and
thing there too is like doing leftovers, but also like you can do it in a different way. Like do wraps or sandwiches with like
yeah.
leftover meat from the night before or something. Just do it like slightly different and
Hmm.
then it's like a whole new meal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there's so many, especially I love like you can do the power bowls, you can do a salad, you can
Yeah.
do a sandwich. And that's what I love as well, is a lot of the busy mom meal recipes is you can take the meat or a lot of the ingredients from like the power bowl, let's say, and then you could totally turn that into a salad the next day and
Yeah.
just add a dressing, or you could turn it into a sandwich and add a lot of those ingredients on. And so that is the best thing too, if you don't love leftovers, is you can mix and match a lot of the ingredients that you make. If you make chicken and you season it, you could have different sides with it each day, or put chicken on a salad or a sandwich. We can absolutely mix and match. And I think that that's such a great strategy for moms, so that they don't
Hmm.
feel bored like they're eating the same thing, but then they
Yeah.
actually get to spend less time in the kitchen, which
Yeah.
is huge.
Yeah.
Um, what other specific changes have you made in the last month or so that have just made life easier in terms of either getting healthy meals on the table, or even sticking with a healthier diet? Maybe even, I know you mentioned on your stories, the healthier dessert options, like having
Yeah.
some desserts that are kind of, they taste like dessert, but they're more of a snack with protein in them, just things that have
Yeah.
kind of helped you stay on track, quote unquote, with like eating more nutrient dense foods.
I have a huge sweet tooth, so like protein, like treat kind of things are like huge for us.
Mhm.
My kids kind of they have my bad habit. They love it too. So that cookie dough protein yogurt, yeah, I make sure I have the ingredients for that on hand at all times. I probably make
Yeah,
it once a day.
that's great.
Um,
Yeah.
I make my own like protein bars that I just keep in the freezer and cut them up, and then the kids can go grab them whenever they want. And like
Hmm.
I don't care if they eat them or whatever. Like I know it's a healthier option for them.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, just having snacks that you can like repeat and keep on hand. And I've also kind of let go of like having meals having to look perfect.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Especially for the kids. Like it was always like, oh, we're not having enough vegetables. They need vegetables. But you can really like sub out a lot of vegetables for some fruits or
Yeah.
dried fruit. So I've kind of let go of like what a traditional dinner needs to look like. And I just
Hmm.
like put stuff on their plate that I know that they'll eat, like
Yeah.
dried mango or apricot or raisins with
Hmm.
like cucumbers and raspberries or something, with like a side of meat. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be this big 5 course meal every
Hmm.
night. It can be simple. And bowls
Yeah.
are actually really good for that for families to like
Mhm.
deconstruct for kids.
Yes.
And you can kind of like do them a bit differently. But yeah.
Yes. That is such a big one. That's a question I get a lot from moms is like, what if my kids are picky and how do I eat healthy when my kids are picky? And that's exactly what you just said is such an important strategy is it's okay if our plates look slightly different than our kids. That doesn't mean we're cooking two completely separate meals, but absolutely when you're making something like a power bowl, it's okay if you swap out one of the vegetables for a different vegetable or you add some fruit on their plate. I know for my kids, they're obsessed with fruit. And if fruit is on their plate at every single meal, they're actually way more likely to taste test other things on their plate.
Mm,
And so
yeah.
that's the other thing is if you put something in front of your kids and they've never seen some of these vegetables and like everything on their plate is something new, they are going to likely be more likely to refuse it. But if you put some of their favorite fruits or vegetables on there, and then you have maybe one new vegetable or only one new thing on their plate, they're way more likely to try it, especially when we remove that pressure and it's like, yeah, it's there. Mommy and daddy are eating it and like they watch you eat it. They're going to be
Yeah.
way more likely. And I think the other tip with picky eaters and kids in general too that has worked really well for our family is figuring out what vegetables do your kids really like and will they eat and can you get that into multiple meals throughout the week. So my kids love I just buy the bag of frozen sweet potatoes. They're like pre-chopped.
Yeah.
Anytime we do any type of sheet pan, we pretty much always throw those on because I know that my kids will eat sweet potatoes. All of them will eat it. And then we'll mix up and add some different new vegetable. And they don't always eat the other vegetable or all of it on the plate, but at least when I know that they're sweet potatoes, I know that they'll eat something. And so
Yeah.
it's okay if we can find one or two vegetables that your kids will eat. It's okay to just repeat that vegetable like multiple times throughout the week. And then you can always
Yeah.
mix in one or two new ones. And then again, no pressure. It's like, put a little on their plate if they taste it at least they're tasting it.
Yeah.
And that's just exposing our kids to a wide variety of foods is the best thing we can do. And them watching us eat it and showing them how we eat it is one of the biggest tips. And, my one son has autism and Down syndrome. And so he has had a lot of issues with like textures and eating. And a tip that's worked really well for us with him is if we put on his fork like a berry with a piece of meat or a berry with a vegetable, literally, if we put a berry on his fork with any other food, he will eat it. And so it's like the most random concoction. Sometimes I'm like, this can't taste good, but he will. And so, that's another tip for any parents who have picky eaters and you're like, we're trying to eat healthier and we're exposing our kids to more foods that they've never seen or tried before then put a safe food on and test like putting them on the fork together. And sometimes that works wonders for certain kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, for
That's a good
sure.
one. Yeah.
And what other changes just mentally around food have kind of changed for you? Or even beliefs about eating healthy or making meals or, serving meals as a busy mom? Like what were maybe some old beliefs or thoughts that you believed maybe 6 months ago that you've kind of shifted and have made you feel more empowered about eating healthy and feeding your family healthy?
My background with healthy eating is a very colored one.
A lot of
um,
moms, yeah.
yeah, it was a rough time in my 20s. I went hard on like the diets and working out every day and
Hmm.
trying all the different diets. I think there was a point where I was down to like 10 foods that I was eating, including mustard, salt, and pepper. Like
Wow.
that was it. It was like salad, baked, like plain chicken, and like steamed broccoli. And people would
Mm,
always tell me, like, oh, you're so healthy, you're eating so healthy. But like they had zero idea how much I was struggling mentally with
yeah.
food. Um, but it's like people see that kind of food and they think that that's healthy.
Hmm.
And then on the flip side of that, though, like I was looking at them and how they had a healthier relationship with food. Like
Yeah.
they were eating, like I wasn't eating carbs like at all.
Hmm.
And, you know, they could eat carbs without like melting down or having to run to the gym for 3 hours. So
Hmm.
I feel like healthy eating is just having a healthy relationship with food and
Yeah.
realizing that food is just food. It's like there's not good and bad. I think you need to
Hmm.
be able to have a little bit of everything in your diet
Yeah.
to be
Abs-
healthy, really.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is such an important point for moms. And I think so many moms, especially in our 20s or 30s, or even like maybe after we had a baby and we're uncomfortable in our bodies, have kind of
Yeah.
turned into like black or white, rigid thinking,
Yeah.
good or bad. And that's never a good thing. And really shifting our mindset to all food can fit and what types of foods are going to make my body function and feel best, and how can I get more of those on my plate and
Hmm.
still eat the birthday cake with my kids and still have the
Yeah.
pizza night with our like those are really important memories. And so we shouldn't say no to ice cream with our kids if it's, a special occasion and we want to do that. We shouldn't say, "Oh, mommy can't have this." Like it's
Yeah.
we are the biggest role models for our kids, and our relationship with food in our body directly impacts our kids. And so how we talk about food in our body, they're learning from us. They're watching what we do. And so we as moms, we have such an important role in modeling healthy behaviors and healthy thoughts around food and just modeling eating a wide variety of foods. And so that's just such an important mission, is like how can we build healthy families, and it all starts with mom. It's like whatever mom's doing, that is what the family is going to follow. And so it's
Yeah.
definitely not about perfection. It's just about how can we get a more wide variety of different foods and nutrients on our plate. And definitely inside Busy Mom meals, like all the meals are already, they have fiber, they have protein, they have healthy fats, like they have a wide variety of those. Cause like you said, we don't want to be on a restrictive diet where we're avoiding all carbs. Carbs are fruits and vegetables. We want to have carbs. Carbs are really important for our brain function. We don't want to avoid healthy fats. Healthy fats help our hormones and our brains. And so it's really important to get a wide variety of foods. It's so crucial.
Yeah.
And
100%.
how have you noticed just how you felt physically, mentally when you're fueling your body with a wide variety of nutrients versus kind of back in the day when you were on more of a rigid and restrictive diet? Like how have you
Yeah.
felt in terms of energy, brain function, that sort of thing?
Oh, God. Yeah. It was like I was exhausted. I remember
Hmm.
being absolutely exhausted, like not being able to like think clearly or remember things.
Yeah.
And just not being in a good mood.
Hmm.
Really, like just irritated all the time. So yeah, carbs do bring you happiness.
Yes. Yes, they
I
do.
actually, the one diet that I'm thankful for I did in my life was the macro counting, because that's
Hmm.
where I learned that I do need carbs and fat in my diet.
Yeah.
Um, I mean that and it ended up turning unhealthy for me, all the tracking and everything
Right.
like that. But it did teach me that I can get those things in my diet. And then nowadays, like as a mom who's just busy and doesn't have a ton of time to eat, I really focus on the protein and like am
Hmm.
realizing that it's easier for me to gain muscle now and to have
Yeah.
like muscle memory. Whereas like before I was working out like 6 or 7 days a week and it's like
Hmm.
why aren't my muscles growing and stuff like that? But it's because I
Hmm.
wasn't fueling my body properly.
Hmm.
So Yeah, I find like now I definitely have more energy. I enjoy working out more. It's from a better place and I see better results.
Getting in that protein is so important. That's why I love that you're like, I eat the cookie dough yogurt every day. That's such a perfect snack. How has just your confidence changed in how you feed your family and just your overall confidence in eating healthy and kind of modeling a healthy relationship with food in your body to your kids? How has that changed?
Well, I'm actually happy, like immediately using your plans. We're eating more vegetables.
Yeah, that's
I'm
great.
incorporating like salads and stuff more and yeah, just more vegetables in general. I do definitely try to be mindful of the way that I talk about myself or my body. And I do try to model like healthy portions of things or like eating something healthy before we like, kids, they want to have like dessert before dinner and stuff like
Hmm.
that. But just trying to get something healthy in their bodies before we do something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, there was definitely times, like you said, like I remember times with like my grandma at her birthday this one specific year, she's passed away now and I didn't have any of her birthday cake. And she was a German lady. She loved to like feed you and like
Yeah.
you know, feed an army really. And so she never really understood all that stuff. And so, it was like, why aren't you eating my birthday cake? And so I think about that kind of stuff now and think about how like I don't want my kids to think about that kind of stuff. So I mean, I eat the cake, I eat the donuts, I indulge in the ice cream and all of the things. Um, but I just try to like portray that it's just not like an all the time thing.
Yeah.
Um, I just try to be a more positive influence because if I say something bad about myself, like I wouldn't want to hear them say something bad about themselves. So I just try to
Yeah.
keep that in the back of my mind.
Yeah, that's such an important thought and process to go through is if we say something negative about ourselves or think it, just filtering it through, would I want to hear my kids say that about themselves? And if the answer is
Yeah.
no, then it's like, okay, let's shift
Yeah.
that thought. Let's redirect that thought or reframe that thought. So that's such an
Yeah.
important piece. And
Yeah.
if there was another mom listening to this who feels like she's currently drowning, like I am drowning, 5 p.m. rolls around, I'm stressed, I don't know what to make for dinner or breakfast or lunch. Like, I want to eat healthy. I really want to model this to my kids, but I feel like I'm drowning. I don't know how on earth to eat healthy and get this done as a busy mom. What is one piece of advice you would give her? Whether it's something she should stop doing or just one simple thing that she should start doing today.
I was thinking about this. Like, if I could go back and tell myself, it would
Hmm.
really be like planning out a couple dinners at a time,
Yeah.
doing the grocery pickup if you can. It
Hmm.
took me so long to get on those two things.
Yeah.
And I just wish I had gotten there sooner. Like it saves so much time and so much stress. And honestly, if you can, I would get an air fryer.
Yeah.
I
They're
like
great.
even like go to a secondhand store and get one. Like they've got to be there.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't get one for the longest time because I was like, this is just going to be another thing that sits on the counter and doesn't
Yeah.
get used. But I love it. I love it
Yeah.
for making quick snacks for the kids. You can make chicken breast in it. You can
Hmm.
make like breakfast sausages in it. Because I used to loathe having to do that stuff in the morning. I'm like, oh God,
Yeah.
my kids want sausages. Now I have to like stand at the stove and cook them.
Hmm.
But literally, you just throw them in the air fryer and they're done in like 8 minutes. I don't know. But just like little time saving things like that. And just having stuff in the freezer that
Hmm.
the kids will love, that's easy to
Yes.
just cook for them and get them something while you maybe figure out what you're going to have or you and your husband, whatever. Just
Hmm.
like quick stuff for the kids to have on hand, I find has been super helpful, especially stuff that you can just throw in the air fryer.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's so many vegetables you can literally just throw in the air fryer, like the frozen
Yes.
broccoli, the frozen sweet potatoes, the frozen things, and then just put some avocado oil on it, salt and pepper, throw it in the air fryer. That is one of the best ways if you need a side
Yeah.
dish, and you want to get vegetables. That's like my biggest hack is have some frozen vegetables, just throw in some avocado oil, throw it in the air fryer.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just going to save
Totally.
you time because I think it tastes better when it's roasted versus a lot of those frozen bags are like, just microwave it. And then it's like
Steam them.
steam. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I don't
Soggy.
know. Yeah. Just like not the
Yeah.
best texture. So
Yeah.
I think the air fryer just gives it more of a roasted feeling. It just is a better texture and overall
Totally.
flavor for sure.
Yeah.
What does healthy eating mean to you today? Like if you were to think about overall, how do you view eating healthy as a busy mom now versus how you maybe thought about it 6 months or a year ago?
I just think it needs to be like uncomplicated. I think
Hmm.
we complicate it so much.
Yeah.
Another thing I was going to say too is to just get like raw vegetables.
Yeah.
Like if your kid doesn't like, because I'm the same kind of way. Like if my vegetables are like even a little bit on the soggy side, like I'm
Hmm.
not interested.
Yeah.
My nephew actually, I still don't think he eats cooked vegetables. Like my sister-in-law's always had raw vegetables to put on the side of his dinner, and that's how he
Hmm.
eats them. And like, that's fantastic to me. I'm like, I totally
Yeah.
get that. But yeah, just uncomplicating it and just switching out fruits for veggies and stuff like that. And doing like deconstructed kind of dinners, I find
Hmm.
are just super quick and easy for kids. And then finding snacks for yourself that are quick and easy to make and making sure you have that on hand at all times. Like I love doing yogurt bowls.
Hmm.
I do the cookie dough one, or I do one with granola and fruit, or you can throw it in the smoothies for extra protein. Like I always have some protein yogurt on hand because it's so versatile. You can
Hmm.
even put it in recipes and stuff, but just finding some like staple things to just always have on hand that are versatile and you can do stuff with. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is, once you find one or two recipes that your kids love and you love, it's okay to repeat that, several
Yes.
times a month. It's okay to say, oh, wow. Like, for instance, we found a sheet pan one that we made the other week, and my kids loved it. And I was like, oh, this was super easy. I'm just going to repeat this again this week.
Yeah.
And same thing with like a street taco that we did the other week. And I'm like, we're going to do that again this week because everyone ate it and it was super easy. And I thought it was delicious, so it's also okay to just start favoriting, like you said, if you have a few meals on hand or a few snacks, it's okay to repeat. I think moms, we tend to make things more complicated sometimes than it needs to be, where we think like, oh, I have to make a new breakfast every week. No, it's okay. If you find one breakfast that everybody eats, everyone's satisfied, it's okay to just repeat that breakfast all week
Yeah.
long, all month long. It's okay to repeat the snacks. If you find a few snacks that your kids love or that you love, it's okay to just repeat things. You just have to find kind of what are the winners in your household
Yeah.
and then, of course, like mix in a few new ones every week because it's always good to test new things, maybe
Yeah.
two new dinners a week. But it's also okay to find your favorites and stick with it. And,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be super complicated. It doesn't have to be super time consuming. Lean on the
Yeah.
pre-chopped frozen things,
Yes.
lean on some of those microwavable options or air fryer options because
Yeah.
there are some really good brands out there that we can use for those types of things, like the protein sources and
Yeah.
yogurts and cottage cheese and all of those things. So,
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's just getting better that way. Like there's
hmm
always, yeah, healthier options are becoming more available, which I love.
for
But
sure. Yeah, I think a lot of
yeah.
brands are catching up, and
Yeah.
hopefully some of the brands will get a little cheaper, like we said. But
Yeah.
some of the stuff you're not using necessarily all the time every day, and they do
Yeah.
last a while.
Yeah.
So yeah. Any other things, thoughts that you would like to leave our listeners with in terms of just, yeah, any advice that you want to leave with a mom who is in the throes of all of the things of motherhood?
Oh Lord.
Doesn't even have to be
um,
nutrition related. It could just be something that has helped you navigate multiple kids.
I think just kind of the stuff that I said, don't overcomplicate it, keep stuff on hand. And healthy eating means listening to your own body, I think, and not all of the noise that is around us.
Hmm.
Um, don't jump on the newest trends and stuff like that. Like most of the time, it's stuff like that is hard to stick to.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's like one more thing that we need in our day, you know, or don't need in our day. Keep it simple, find what works for you, and yeah, don't overcomplicate it.
I love that. Yes. Yes. We as moms need that reminder very often.
Yeah, yeah.
We
There's a
do.
lot of noise out there, and I know like we get sucked into listening to it, especially on social media and like that.
Hmm.
And I think it's
Yeah.
just we need to just take a breather and
Hmm.
just think about us and our family and what works.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I love that. And then do you want to leave listeners with any place that they can connect with you?
Oh yeah, sure. I'm always on my Instagram. So it's just my name, Carly underscore Pontius underscore.
Perfect. And we can link that in the show notes as well. So,
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
yes, yes. And thank you for spending your time. I know your time is valuable as a busy mom. So, thank you for hanging out and sharing your words of wisdom with everybody.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for having my kids scream in the background.
That mom life, we all understand.
First day of spring break here, and yeah, my kids are both sick, so I'm a little bit sick, and
Oh,
it's raining, of course, so we're stuck inside. And
oh, yeah, that's so hard. Oh,
yeah,
well, hopefully everybody's feeling better soon.
yeah, I hope so. I'm kept telling myself that we're getting it over with at the beginning, and then we'll have a nice, healthy summer.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me on today.
Yeah,
It's,
thank
yeah.
you.